Okay, so welcome back to Long Island Nightlight Lionel interviews. I am Lou, and it's been quite a while since I've had somebody on. I was wrapping up my school year and everything like that, taking care of, daily life. But I'm so pleased today to be back talking to artists that contribute to Lionel Radio. And I'm with a great one today with Anna Scott, who is a country music singer-songwriter. She's based in Nashville, but she comes originally from Ohio. She'll tell you all about those things. Anna has been a big contributor to the station for quite some time now, so I just appreciate all of her music. And I'm glad that we have a little time to talk about what she's been up to. So, Anna, welcome to Long Island Nightlight Radio.
Thanks for having me. I've been a huge fan for a while, and it's so good to finally chat with you.
Oh yeah, no, I feel the same. And I've said it on my show, and I've posted about it. Like, you just, when you're playing and when I see your posts on social media and things like that, like, you just have such a genuine enthusiasm and a love for what you do, and that just comes clearly out. So that's just something
Oh,
I appreciate so much about, what you do musically.
well, I think we both share a love for music, so it's hard not to be all excited when we get to do what we love. I mean, how can we call this a job when it's like the most fun job I've ever had? And I'm sure you feel the same way with radio. I mean, you can't help but love what you do.
Yeah, and I can't help but like root for you and want to see you, advance and achieve and everything like that, because I can just see that your love for music is so genuine. So let's get into a little bit of specifics now. I want to talk about what you've been doing most recently, and then maybe we'll backtrack a little bit. So your most recent release, as far as what I have, is Close to Cleveland, which came out pretty recently. And I think that it seems like you coupled that with a series of shows in Ohio. So maybe you could tell me what you've been up to with all of that and your connection to Ohio and everything.
Yeah, so I grew up in near Cleveland, Ohio. My whole family is from Cleveland, Ohio area, and I love Cleveland so much. It just has a super special place in my heart, just because that's like where I got my start in music, and my family's all still there, so I visit a lot. But I moved to Nashville, Tennessee in 2019, so it'll be 7 years in August, which is crazy that it's been that long since I've moved, but I just absolutely love home and visiting home. And I've always said, my parents have always said, like, I wish you were closer to Cleveland. So I finally sat down with two of my super fun co-writer friends, Diana Taub and Carlin Mays, and we wrote this song about Cleveland finally. And it was just kind of like a love letter to home, and a love letter to, the place that shaped me and the people that shaped me and the people that believed in me when I was first starting out. And so I released it, and it's just gotten such a good response so far. Like, it's been one of my best responses on my original music so far. And that's wild to me, because it really is, every word in that song is true to me specifically. And I didn't realize how many people would relate to, being, even if they're not from Cleveland, like moving away from home and feeling that like pull to like want to be closer to family or closer to like where you grew up. That's like so universal. And so I'm just so grateful that it's gotten such a good response. And I played in Cleveland this weekend. I just played a couple of shows, and I just had the best turnout and got to see so many friends and family and people that just were really touched by the song. So it just means a lot to me that it's specifically a song about Cleveland that's gaining the most traction for me. I wouldn't have never dreamed of that.
You touched on a couple of things that I wanted to ask about. I noticed in your songwriting that you're a listener. You're a songwriter and you're a singer, but you listen to what people say, you listen to their phrasing, you listen to what people care about, and then that permeates its way into your writing. I mean, is that fair to say? Or
Absolutely.
yeah.
When you're a songwriter, you are studying all the time. I mean, you're listening to like people's day-to-day interactions. You're listening to pieces of people's conversations. You're taking notes. I mean, I've got notes upon notes on my phone of just song title ideas and ideas that I've just thought of like while walking outside or like driving to work, or, all those different kinds of mundane parts of your day are when songwriters truly thrive. And I think we can't help but analyze other people's songs as well. I mean, I grew up listening to so many different kinds of music. I'm very grateful that my family introduced me to lots of different genres, which was so awesome for my music. I think I've just taken a little piece of each genre and put it into my country music. And I think that that's so cool. So I definitely, yeah, take notes from other songwriters. You can't help but pay attention to a good lyric for sure.
I had a linear outline for this interview, and I could tell that I'm already going all over the place, but it's just because I want to pursue the ideas that you're bringing up, and they're all things that I wanted to ask you about. Um, so yeah, let's just kind of unpack a little bit. Yeah, so with Close to Cleveland, and like this is the part that's not linear. I wanted to talk about your tune Whisper Kisses a little bit later on. That's the first of your songs that I was introduced to on Lionel Radio and everything. And I had such a meaningful relationship with my grandfather. I was named after him, and we were both great readers. We never once went fishing together, but and the reason that I want to, can make this connection is because the very specifics of your song, Whisper Kisses, about your granddad, I didn't have those exact experiences, and yet I still completely connected with the tune. And I just substituted, read a book instead of catch a fish or, whatever. And just because you were just talking about that folks maybe aren't from Cleveland or whatever, but they can still connect to it because of the overall theme there. So
Yeah, there's a lot of feelings. I mean, feelings of heartbreak or homesickness or sadness or happiness. Like music brings so many people together. And that's why one of the main reasons why I love music so much is I think it just transcends, language barriers, and it transcends like across the world, and people can all relate to certain feelings that you get in music. And for Whisker Kisses specifically, like that was a song that I wrote for my grandpa, and I put a lot of specifics into that just because he was such a huge part of my life. And even my moving to Nashville, like he was never around when I moved to Nashville, so he never knew that was where I was going to end up, but he always knew that I was going to pursue music. And so he made it a point to give me any opportunity that he could to support me. And I just am so grateful for that, because I don't think I would have made the move to Nashville had I not had his support and my family's support. And so I wanted to pay tribute to him. But it's so good that like the feeling of loving a family member that much that you want to honor them, like that transcends, no matter if you're going out fishing on a lake with your grandpa, or you're listening to music with him, or you're
going
reading
to the public library.
Yeah, it's like the same feeling of just being around that person and having so much respect for them. I think that's like what you get out of it, and that's what I hope people get out of my music. Like my only goal for writing music is to help people and reach people, whether that means like putting a smile on their face or helping them cope with a breakup or a loss of a loved one. Like that's my goal, and whatever they take out of it is, once it's out, then it's up to you guys to like figure, to take it and see how it relates to you. And so that's what I love so much about music, is like you can completely relate, even though we live in different states, we had different grandparents, we had different childhoods growing up, but like we still can relate to that same feeling.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I had a plan, but I had to talk about that song now. I have a feeling you've destroyed many people's plans for some reason.
I get a little excited and passionate about it.
No, it's amazing. That's fantastic. I'm too linear and too planned, so that works out great. So we talked about. I mean, I was just bringing up on my phone, your back catalog that I have right now. So I close to Cleveland and pick up the tab, which is a familiar phrase, and First Round Pick and Cowboy Cupid. So you took like the Valentine's Day holiday and tied it in with your genre right there. And of course, Whisper Kisses. So, like I don't know if you know anything about Sam Cooke at all. But Sam Cooke,
yes.
okay, but he was like the best at just like listening to, what are the catchphrases today, and then just making a number one song out of that. And I see that in what you're doing. I don't, I think it's instinctive that, you just do that. But I just, I can see it, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great approach to songwriting. And, one of these is going to hit at some point. So,
thank you. Well, I mean, it wouldn't see the world if I didn't have people like you that supported me. So thank you for playing my music, because that's like the hardest part, is getting it out there. And once I write it, it's like, okay, now I got to figure out how to get people to hear it and to feel something from my music. And so I'm so grateful that, I mean, you've been such a good supporter of my stuff. So
Oh, that's yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to do anything without the artists that contribute. And it's such a high quality of contribution that I'm very fortunate. I just want to ask you a couple of family things, or maybe, your backstory things. You have a music degree from Belmont University. Is that in Ohio? That school?
no, so that's
Okay.
actually in Nashville, Tennessee. So I
Okay.
moved to Nashville originally. I mean, I always knew I wanted to pursue music, but I was accepted into Belmont University for a music degree. I actually majored in music and music business as well. So lots and lots of music. But
Sure.
I absolutely love my time there, and I originally moved to Nashville for that, and just stuck around. I love Nashville so much. It's got such a cool scene, and I feel like I fit right in here. Like everybody loves music so much, and they're just constantly music everywhere. There's music at every single place that you could possibly think of. They've managed to put a stage and a singer and a guitar in
Oh,
there, and
great.
everything from the Taco Bell to
That's
like
fantastic. Yeah.
the airport. I mean, there's music everywhere. So
That's great. It's funny because just, getting to know you from afar, I was surprised to see that you were from somewhere else other than Nashville. So,
oh,
yeah. So,
I feel very at home here, but I do love Cleveland a lot. But I mean, it's not that far of a commute, which has been nice. I mean, I'm grateful that I don't live on the opposite side of the country or the opposite side of the world as my family and my hometown. So I do get to go home very frequently, and I'm very grateful for that. And they've gotten to come see me in Nashville too.
that's amazing. Um, I wanted to ask about your family a little bit further. It seems like they're very, you're surrounded with people who are passionate with music. Are there other musicians, or are you the first of your kind in the Scott family?
Yeah. So my family, I mean, none of us have ever won any Grammys or anything, but we've
Uh-huh.
all been very, very surrounded by music. I mean, back to my grandparents and my great grandparents, like everybody was very involved in just like throwing a guitar around or playing keys or singing together. I grew up going to see my dad perform in a lot of bands. He played in anything from blues bands to heavy metal bands to he was even in a country band. So I got to be around him and see his performances. So I definitely took a lot of inspiration from him. I'm the first person to move to Nashville and pursue like the country genre, but I definitely like have had a lot of music growing up and around my family for sure.
Yeah, no, it's like you seem like just like a fish in water, like when you're doing the music. So, and I can kind of relate to that because I grew up, in a musical household and everything. Mom was a teacher, and not a public school teacher, but a home, she taught lessons at home. So I guess I could kind of identify, the person who grows up in that environment because I did too.
You can't help it. And I think I mean, honestly, it's one of the big reasons why I'm still able to pursue music is because my family is so supportive of music and musicians in general. They've always believed that, like, if you work hard, you can achieve what you need to achieve and you can achieve your dreams. And if you're yeah, I mean, you got to put the work in, you got to put the sweat equity in, but they've always believed in me being a musician. And I've never once had to prove that to them. So I'm very grateful because I know a lot of people aren't as fortunate of having a supportive family when it comes to music. There's a lot of people that have to do it later in life because people didn't believe in them. And I'm just
Sure.
so grateful that my
You
family's
know,
always
I,
believed in me.
I've interviewed folks with that kind of story too, that they were the first, and it was unusual for their, for it was like their trailblazer rather than, kind of going along with, what the family was typically doing. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely was on I mean, unusual for me to move for music. I still
sure.
definitely field questions of like when are you gonna get a real job or when are you gonna, like people don't totally understand yet.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful that I've had such a supportive family, supportive parents. My brothers are so supportive too. I mean, I played this weekend and they were helping me sell merch and set up my gear and bring all my stuff in, and they were so supportive, and I love them to pieces, but they've been a huge reason of why I
That's
can
amazing.
get famous.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with what you have, really, honestly, Anna. So, All right, so I'm going to ask you my tough question now, if you
Yes.
don't mind. We talked about this in our little prior meeting. So this is more about me, I think, but it's also relying on Anna's knowledge of her genre. So I do host a country and blues show on Tuesdays at, I want to remember, 2 p.m. And it's the Outlaws Island Country and Blues Show. And I really honestly don't feel very qualified to do that. With all the experience I have in music, I don't know much about country music. So relying on Anna and her background and everything like that, and her intelligence, which is obvious, to kind of guide me. Is there something I could read, someone I can listen to, something I can do to lift myself out of the quagmire that I'm in? Okay. And to elevate myself a little bit so that when I go on and spin some country music, I'll have some idea what I'm doing. So talk to me. What can I do here?
I mean, I think Lainey Wilson said it best. Country is cool again. Country is coming back with a vengeance, and it's very popular now. I mean, I have a lot of co-writers that are based in New York that are writing country music and have actually won a lot of awards for the music that they've written and they've performed in New York. So I would definitely say, like, check out your local showcases. There's a lot of showcases through NSAI, which is Nashville Songwriters Association. They focus a lot on country music, being that they are based in Nashville, but there's a New York chapter and they have a lot of shows. So I would say definitely check that out. Those are, a lot of times they're very free. So no cover charge or anything to get in. And you can hear a lot of original songwriters that are in the country genre. But I would say the biggest thing that you could do would be to look up the Grand Ole Opry. They live stream all of their shows, and they have a radio station called WSM at 6:50 a.m. And it is the most insightful. I mean, besides LINL, I would say
Thank you.
WSM is the second coolest radio station in the world. WSM is so cool. I mean, they have interviews with artists ranging from, independent artists like myself to artists like Dolly Parton. I mean, and the Grand Ole Opry is such an amazing venue. It's based in Nashville, Tennessee. And I mean, everybody dreams of being on the Grand Ole Opry stage or being a Grand Ole Opry member. That is like the pinnacle of country music. And so the fact that they live stream all their shows, I think you can find it on YouTube. I mean, I've listened to them on the radio, but definitely check that out and just catch a few shows. They have multiple artists every single time they have a show. It's not just one artist. It's a bunch of artists. They play, 2 or 3 songs, and it's just so insightful and cool. So I would say for sure that is like where you should start. And then if you ever make it down to Nashville, you should definitely check out some shows. And I'm a little biased, but I play shows a lot in town too. So you should definitely maybe check out 1 or 2 of my, or make it down to Tennessee.
Of course. So the name Hank Williams didn't come up at all in there. So I shouldn't listen to Hank Williams.
Oh, no, Hank Williams you should listen to.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hank Williams, Dolly Parton. I mean, I grew up on the greats, so like Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton, Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard.
Johnny Cash. Okay.
Yeah.
So just as evidence, those are my notes. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Thank you.
I don't want Anna to think she's wasting her time on me. Many have wasted their time on me, but not when it comes to music.
No. I think that's the best place to start. And then you go from there. I mean, I have a lot of respect for like the 90s country scene. There's a whole, Shania Twain, LeAnn Rimes, Tim McGraw. Like there's just a bunch of people in the 90s scene that's really, really insightful. And you should definitely check that out. I also love what's going on right now. I mean, Lainey Wilson is trailblazing. Ella Langley's trailblazing. Chris Stapleton.
That name before Lady Wilson, you said, right?
Yeah, Lainey Wilson. She's incredible. Okay. She grew up in Louisiana, and she busted her butt for, I would say, 12 years, I think, until she finally made it. But she is just a powerhouse vocalist and has really made a name for herself in country music. And she has a song called Country's Cool Again. So that's why I said, country's back with a vengeance.
I mean, yeah. And it's very popular here on Long Island. And it's not like I'm only interested just because it's popular. I mean, I see the value in it. I see the quality of it, but I also don't know, I just don't know what it's built on, you know, as much as I
Yeah.
do other genres of music. So that's helpful. And then, and you know, now that I have July and August off, I can pursue some of these things here. So
Yeah, I think there's always a country song for anybody that is a country hater. I would bet
to
you
turn them around.
$5 that you can find at least one song in country music that you love. I mean, my
Yeah.
brother is a big heavy metal fan. He loves like dubstep radio and just really like heavy beats. And he has actually found he loves Hardy, he loves Lakeview. Like there are country artists that will be slightly familiar to you based on what genre of music you enjoy. But I bet with $5 you can find at least one country song that you like. If you're
All right, you're on. Okay.
you're not, but to the
do you
people
have,
the
do you have
listeners out there,
Venmo? Do you have Venmo? Because I intend on collecting that $5. I'm just kidding.
I will give my Venmo out to anybody that decides that, you know,
Okay.
they are a country hater. They cannot find a single country
I,
song.
you know, I've never once been a country hater. I could say that.
No.
I hate the fact that I just don't know much about it, and you're helping to educate me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think everybody should educate themselves in all different genres of music. I mean, I grew up on like Evanescence, and so it's like country to me. Like I had country, but I had that as well, and so I have a deep appreciation for non-country music as well.
Gotcha.
But country.
Awesome. Anna, what's next for you?
I've got more music coming out this
You
year.
do?
I'm so excited. I
You're so
have
prolific. I mean, you come out with a lot of tunes. It's awesome.
I love writing music, and so it just makes me so happy to be able to release music, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to release some really fun songs. I just had that Close to Cleveland release, but I've got a couple songs coming out this summer. I've got a few cover songs coming out as well.
I do a cover show, so
yeah, that
Yeah.
cover. I've got one for you. I'll
Awesome.
send it over to you. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm
Okay.
very excited for that. And I'm actually I know this is a little bit of a hike for you guys, but I'm playing the Illinois State Fair this year. Very excited for that.
When is that?
It's in August. It's the same weekend as Ella Langley and the Chicks. And I'm just so excited to be able to perform there. It's in Springfield, Illinois. So if anybody's got any family in Illinois, I'm also playing a lot in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'll be at the Florabama in November in Florida for the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival.
Oh, yeah,
It's so exciting. So I'm getting to travel a little bit more for my music, which has been really fun. And I'll obviously be back in Ohio for some shows, and who knows, maybe I'll make it up to New York to play a show or two. I've got some songwriter friends that have been letting me know all the cool spots in New York.
Yeah, and if
Long Island is our family vacation spot. That's the closest from Cleveland. That's our closest ocean. So we Long Island.
You ever need suggestions for venues or things like that? I mean, it sounds like you have your ideas already with your contacts here, but just let me know, and
yeah, I would love to. Maybe we could set up an in-person interview.
Wow.
That.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as impressive in person.
I highly doubt that. I would be honored though if I got to meet you in person or play a show. I think that would be so fun.
I have kind of olive skin, but you're making me blush a little bit over here. So
I'm blushing too for that. For those who are listening right now on the radio that don't see our faces, we're pretty peachy right now.
Yeah. And in this non-linear interview, I never got to mention AnnaScottMusic.com, and I want to make sure I touch on that. That was at the top of my list, by the way. Okay, yeah. So AnnaScottMusic.com. It's a beautifully designed website, by the way. It awakens feelings of jealousy within me. Okay, and I also I clicked on the music tab and I saw the back catalog that I don't know yet. So that's where I'm going to have to be headed also to find out some more about country music.
Absolutely. I released my first song in 2020 and I am up to 21 original songs, and then I have a few covers on there as well. So lots to choose from, lots of different kind of styles. I mean, I've got stuff that leans more rock, I've got stuff that leans more pop, I've got some ballads.
Yeah.
I have a lot of options. So definitely I would suggest for anyone that is curious about my music to check it out. You can go to annascottmusic.com. You can find all of my shows, all of my music, all of my videos. I've got really cool visualizer videos for a lot of my latest releases and my live shows. So you can check that out. And if you're ever in the Nashville area, or if you're going to any of those places that I mentioned before, Illinois or Floribama or Ohio, those are on there as well. So you can check that out. And I play 4 shows a week in Nashville. So I'm hoping to break 300 shows this year. Last year I hit 300, so I'm hoping to break that again. 300 shows in a year, which is crazy, but I love performing. So if you ever find yourself in the area, definitely check my website out. You can find all my socials on there, and it's a lot of fun. I post a lot of silly stuff too. So if you're ever bored and want to take a look at my Instagram or my TikTok, I've always got something funny going on.
She definitely does. So yeah, definitely check out AnnaScottMusic.com. Follow her on social media. Anna, if you don't mind just hanging out after I sign off for a minute or two here. That would be cool.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for those of you who are viewing this. If you're viewing this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of thing. You know how to do it. If you're listening to the audio of this on LINL Radio, well, just stay tuned, because we're going to back up this interview with all of the tunes that we've been talking about. So it's going to be a series of Anna Scott tunes following right after we say goodbye here. So
And
Anna,
it's July,
yes,
so
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what better way to spend 4th of July than listening to LINL Radio
Sure.
and tuning in. I wore blue on purpose for 4th of July. So
That's
hopefully,
awesome. Yeah. Yep. The interview drops on 4th of July. And then it's going to continue, on Saturday mornings. You'll be able to hear it. It'll be available on demand. So you get your fill of Anna Scott on LINL Radio with no problem. So once again, thank you so much. Like I said, Anna, if you could just hang out a moment. And thank you so much. And like I said, if you're listening, just stay tuned. Okay. Whisper Kisses is coming right up right now.
thank y'all so much.